Yo, 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 what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Bleacher Takes. You got your boy Tim and Josh in here. Nate's running a little bit behind. Hopefully, he can hop in here in just a couple minutes. But we're live talking sports. Josh, we got a lot of crazy stuff going on in the sports week. It seemed like it was a little slow, but when I look back at it, we've had some things go down. And I want to run through just a couple small topics with you real quick.
Yep.
Brooks Koepka. He leaves PGA to go to the Live Golf. Reactions?
I mean, that's another big name going to Live, and I mean, if you're PGA, are you starting to hit panic mode here, or like what are we thinking?
Brooks is one of your biggest names, man. I mean, that guy. For him to leave like that,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's going to really make a lot of these other guys start to really think, whoa, maybe we should look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, if guys like Brooks Koepka are leaving, I mean, come on now. But yeah, we've talked about Live a lot. If you guys want to see our in-depth discussion about those, go watch our previous podcast. We're get real in depth with those. Brittany Griner still in jail, dude. I mean, I'm not trying to get political on here, but dude,
Yeah.
Brittany Griner's still in jail. Did you hear that?
Not
It was
even
her wife's their anniversary. They were supposed to get a phone call together. Did you see that?
Yeah, I
And
seen that, yeah.
they would like the phone call didn't go through.
I seen that, and I'm not even going to get into the political side of this, but just being a Phoenix Mercury fan, man, I'm telling you right now, we are missing her badly. It is. I was able to catch a couple of the Mercury games, and it's been absolutely awful, bro. Like, it's obviously she's a huge player in the WNBA and a huge part of the Phoenix Mercury team, and without her, then I mean, it's our defense and just our rim protector is gone, and it's definitely showing with our record. Like, pretty sure we're sitting in the 8th seed in the playoffs right now, and I'm pretty sure we lost last night, so I mean, that's not even looking good. So I doubt we even make the playoffs this year, and so we're missing her badly. Let's get her back, huh?
Yeah, I think we need to do something, man. It's pretty insane that she's been over there. We haven't really talked about that on this podcast, which I'm not a big WNBA fan, but
missing out, man. I'm telling you.
Oh man, let me tell you, bro. They're star players over there in jail. What am I supposed to do? You imagine if LeBron James was in jail?
He wouldn't be there long. Like 5 minutes, we'd have him back over here.
Right?
Yeah.
Right. They're telling the government, hey, you need to get this girl back, and they don't even know who she is. I'm just playing. But but no, let's get her home, man. It's been too long. O'Neal Cruz, bro. You seen this kid?
Hey,
the Pirates.
That dude is absolutely smoking the ball and has a
bro.
Cannon.
He's got your tools, but he's 6'7".
Yeah. Dude is insane, man. I don't. Why did it take them so long to call this dude up?
I think it has to do with service time. I think if they called him up any earlier than this, he could be a free agent a year earlier. I think. And obviously, when you're a team like that, and it doesn't matter when you call them up, they're obviously going to wait.
I mean, but it gives your fan base something to look forward to. But
dude, if I'm a Pirates fan right now, living in Pittsburgh, dude, I'm stoked. What else do they have to watch right now?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
You see this kid coming up, 6'7" shortstop who threw the ball like 500 miles an hour across the diamond. You see that throw?
Yeah, he bro. And then he had a RBI single that was hit like 110 or something like that. Like,
did you see what they said too? They asked him something about his game or whatever, and he said, "You're going to see a lot of hard hit balls, and a lot of balls go a long way." I was like, bring a little spark, bring a little something, dude. I love the Yankees, just so you know. Jose Trevino, 2-run home run. We're up 5-4 now. Anyways, a little side note there.
Playing the Rays,
Yankees are thinking amazing. Yes, playing the Rays. Baseball, dude. Dude, I just want you guys to know what's going on. Right now, I got my iPad over here watching the Yankees game. I'm talking to you wonderful people. I've got like 10 tabs up in the computer right now. On the other monitor, we got the Stanley Cup on half the screen, we got Ole Miss versus Arkansas, and the other half of the screen is bottom of the ninth. Ole Miss is down 2 runs, but they got the bases loaded with 1 out.
Oh, I'm gonna have to turn that on, bro.
Pop up. Are they gonna tag on this? No way you make. Oh yeah, you got to tag on. Oh no! How do you stay up? They popped out the left field and they like ran into each other, but the dude like stood. That was insane. Bases loaded, 2 outs.
Let's go Arkansas. That's all I got to say.
I'm gonna shout out my boy Ethan Curtis, who predicted the score to be 3-1. So he's
is that what it is right now?
Yeah, it's 3-1, 2 outs in the bottom 9.
Dude should have placed a bet on that.
Yeah, no joke, bro. But yeah, there's a lot of crazy, awesome things going on. NBA draft is tomorrow. We are going to do our own little NBA draft here live with all you beautiful people. So hopefully Nate's on here for that. We know how excited he is about draft. He loves draft. He loves doing all these analysis and stuff. We will be starting the picks here in about 20 minutes. Just so you guys know, we got a couple things to clean up, a couple things to run over here, and then we're going to do some NBA draft preview. We're going to go through the first 14 picks, the lottery picks.
Little lottery pick action, yep.
And because honestly, after that, teams are kind of just picking for need over talent at that point, and probably picking a guy who probably won't start for a playoff team. So we're just going to do lottery. But I do want to go over what I've seen in the Stanley Cup game so far. The Avalanche and Lightning are playing. The Avalanche are up 2-1 in this series. But the Lightning, man, you and Nate really shot the Lightning down in this last podcast. And they hadn't looked good. But they won on Monday. Mm-hmm. And then
they won by a landslide too, didn't they? 7-2 or something like that?
Or 6-2.
6-2?
Yeah. They won 6-2. Landeskog for the Avalanche had both their goals, but for the Lightning, they had 6 different scorers for 6 goals, man. That just shows you how deep that team is. And I told Nate and I told you, man, that when they get on this home ice, it's going to change the series. And they have. And, dude, in the first period of this game, the Avalanche had 4 shots on goal. The Lightning had 17. Like, when they get that puck in your side of the ice, good luck.
Yeah,
because you're not getting it out of there. So they've really shown up. They're really playing very well tonight. I had a note in here. Darcy Kemper, he got pulled from Game 3 for the Avalanche, and I was wondering if he'd start Game 4, but he has, and he's given up 2 goals. He's played pretty well in this game, but I think the Lightning are turning this around, man. They were down 2-0 to my Rangers and then won the next 4. The Rangers looked like the better team in the first 2 games, and now they've come back and they've won the next 4. And now in this series, they're winning Game 4. They won Game 3. They're really turning this around. Obviously, it's a close game right now, and this can go either way. But something to monitor, of course. We're going to continue to look back on that. Nathan MacKinnon did score for the Avalanche on a power play. It is of note, though, the Lightning haven't given up a goal on their ice in 6 games, unless it was like a power play or something like that. No 5-on-5. They've given up no goals on a 5-on-5 in like 6 games. Pretty insane.
Yeah.
What just happened in this game? What I just miss? Oh, no. Sorry, guys. I'm watching this College World Series infield single. Okay. So this College World Series is pretty insane. Arkansas and Ole Miss are playing bottom 9th. Arkansas is up 3-2 with the bases loaded with 2 outs. The count is 2-2.
Oh.
2-2. Are you ahead of me?
Yeah.
If Ole Miss wins this game, Arkansas is done. And Arkansas has won. Wow. Well, good thing Ethan didn't put that bet in, man. Pretty close, though. 3-2 final. So they play tomorrow, and the winner tomorrow advances to the College World Series. This game that just ended, we're going to run over that real quick. Smith for the Razorbacks, he had 8 strikeouts in 5 innings, giving up 1 run on 2 hits. Pitched pretty lights out for you guys. I'm saying you guys because you're saying go Arkansas, so I'm just going to throw you in there.
Hey,
hey,
born and raised, baby.
Where you're born. Well, okay, don't put the raised part in there. Raised? Whoa,
born.
no.
That's where I was born.
But yeah, they played a pretty good game. They had let's see, where'd the scoring come from here? Scoring plays. Home run, home run, home run. The first 3 runs were home runs. Arkansas had 2 of them. Ole Miss had 1, so it was 2-1. And then an RBI single in the top of the 8th minute, 3-1 Arkansas. And bottom 9, obviously, they score to make it 3-2. But yeah, this game was pretty crazy. They're going to play tomorrow night to determine who goes and plays Oklahoma. And I actually watched this Oklahoma game from my office today. Josh, you probably didn't catch any of this game, did you?
No, I didn't.
Well, let me tell you, it was a treat. I watched this Sandlin kid pitch for the Sooners, and he had a pretty tough year, and he had an ERA close to 6. His ERA was like a 5.9. Not a good year for him. He's a redshirt sophomore, but he came in this game and he shoved, absolutely shoved. He just looked like completely in control. His slider was actually spinning, like the rotation of the ball, the spin and the drop on it was dropping and spinning at a higher rate than the average MLB slider. Like the guy could move the ball, dude. And he was throwing it obviously away from righties and into lefties. And he just looked in control out there. He pitched 7 innings of 1-run ball. He gave up a home run in the 6th inning, I believe it was. But he had 12 strikeouts in 7 innings and only threw 100 pitches. 100 pitches in 7 innings, giving up 5 hits, only 1 walk, and 12 strikeouts. The guy was dominant for them, and they had some good hitting. Crooks, their catcher, is the first catcher in College World Series history to hit multiple home runs in the playoffs since Adley Rutschman, who was the number 1 overall pick for the Orioles and is now playing for the Baltimore Orioles. So pretty good history to be in there with. But Oklahoma, they're going to the College World Series final series there. And we talked about this on the show. How crazy would it be to have double Oklahoma World Series champions?
Yeah, that'd be insane.
Like obviously that softball team was different this year. It was like baseball's Tennessee is what they were.
Oklahoma's softball team is it's like that everywhere. They're an absolute powerhouse when it comes to softball, and it's as you've seen in the women's college World Series this year. They absolutely dominate any game that they're in.
So, real question here though: how well do you think our team would fare against them, our softball team?
We're losing.
I know, we're getting absolutely cooked.
Yeah, we are not touching them, bro.
I was like, man, they'd absolutely slaughter us.
I mean, hey, you put me up against one of their pitchers, though. I'm going 4 for 4, 4 home runs.
Yeah, 450 dead center, baby.
Swear.
Yeah. I mean, hey, let's do it. You think, hey, you got connections like that, right? You can just call them up.
Yeah, I'll make a couple phone calls.
Little scrimmage, little something, see if they want to pull up to the KC. No, we'll play on their field, man. Just in case there's a cloudy, there's a cloud in the sky or something they don't want to cancel.
Somebody spills a drink or something. Call the game off because the field's wet then.
Yeah, no joke. But we would absolutely get crushed. Yeah. But it's just a nice little conversation, nice little talk there. But yeah, College Baseball World Series tomorrow. Ole Miss, Arkansas will play at 3:00. The winner gets to play Oklahoma, who looks pretty stinking good right now. Not sure I'd really want to play their team right now. They're playing very well, getting some timely hitting. and Sandlin is like their number 3-ish starter. That guy went out and shoved today. They're going to have their ace rested on the mound for game 1, and the bullpen that's going to be pretty rested because Sandlin went 7 innings, and they didn't have to play any elimination games.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to have a really rested bullpen. Their hitters obviously having timely hits already. So see if they can continue that. Nico Stern did just score for the Avalanche, so it is 2-2 with 15 minutes to go in the third period. Something to keep an eye on, of course. Oh, let me just exit out of this. Open that up. Perfect. Well, not sure where Nate's at, but Josh, I think we should just, talk about this draft here a little bit. We don't have to get right into the picks real quick, but I do want to go over, okay, who, in your mind, who's the best prospect in this draft? Regardless of who's taking it number 1. If you are a GM, you don't have a team. You don't say you're an expansion team. They give you the number 1 overall pick. And they say, listen, you get to pick whoever you want to start your franchise with. Who are you taking?
It's going to be, honestly, it's between 3 players. Jabari Smith, the Paulo Ponchero,
Benchero,
you say his last name, and then the Jaden Ivey guy from Purdue. It's between those 3. Honestly, if I was to choose, I mean, we've had this conversation before. Everybody's big on this Chet guy.
You know what? I saw something today. Actually, I've seen a lot of things today about him. And you didn't like him before, and you didn't really know his personality. And now I'm sure you really don't like him. Have you seen some of the stuff he said and some of the stuff he's done? You're gonna hate this guy. I'm just gonna tell you, if you guys are ready for some Josh hating on some Chet Holmgren, because it's gonna happen. He's already hated on him just a little bit on this program, but he's going to continue. Chet Holmgren said, "I'm going to be the best player in the NBA." So you might as well be a fan now. Don't be late on the train. He said, I'm going to be the best player ever. And then today he says, I'm going to be the best dressed. I'm the best dressed player in the NBA. And tomorrow I'm going to be the best dressed. Like, he's just saying stuff. This guy's just running his mouth, and he's all of 170 pounds, 7 foot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, this is pour into a bottle of everything Josh hates, and you got Chet Holmgren.
Listen, I hope that this guy proves me wrong, because, I mean, this would be a great talent for the NBA. All right, it'd be fun to watch, but I don't see this guy coming to the NBA and making a big impact on any team he's drafted to. Like, the dude's 7 foot and is a toothpick. Like, I just don't see it, man. I really don't. I mean, he's talented, but I just think that when it comes to the NBA, he's just going to get tossed around. I don't know. I hope I'm wrong. I really do. Like I said, I want the guy to be great. I don't want him to fail or anything like that, but I do not see it.
The thing that's going to be really key to him until he can get his body right is he's got to be a knockdown shooter. The guy's got to be able to hit shots.
He's going to have to shoot from the outside for sure.
He did in college.
But a lot of guys are able to shoot in college. Don't mean it's going to
that's what
translate
I'm
to the
saying.
NBA.
That's what I'm saying. He did in college. But if he can do it in the NBA until he gets his body right.
Yeah. The guy's definitely going to have to put on some weight for sure, without a doubt.
He's probably the guy that has the most untapped ceiling. Like, he could be crazy,
outstanding. Yeah.
But he could also be like worse than Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah, and that
we thought that guy was going to be the best thing.
And that's who I honestly, in my mind, that's who I compare him to.
I do too. It's hard not to, obviously, how big they are. They're both European. Well, Chet's his family's from there. He's played in the U.S., but just the way that they are, but his personality is way different from Kristaps. Kristaps Porzingis is kind of like he is a crybaby, the guy who's not real vocal with it. Kind of lets his family do the talking for him and just wants out of the media and attention. Chet lives off that. He lives on that fire. He's not a guy you typically see like a huge trash talker, but that's how he is. And he's not scared of the spotlight. He's not scared of talking. And obviously, he's not afraid to proclaim that he's already better than everybody. Where, honestly, there was times last year, dude, I would venture to say he wasn't the best player on his team last year.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he
only averaged like 14 last year or something like that.
Yeah, his he shot like 60%, averaged 14 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists. But you know, obviously playing on a team that's got Drew Timme. I mean, Drew was still the focal point. That's the guy that defenses were still trying to lock down, and they really couldn't.
I'm taking him over freaking Chet. I'll tell you that.
To win me a game right now, yes, but we're talking potential. I mean, Chet's the kind of guy he's got to go to the right team, the right organization. He's not an organization like he couldn't be. Like, I'm going to be scared if he goes to Orlando. Honestly, number 1 overall, because I don't think Orlando's real great at taking a guy like him. Obviously, they've taken some guys who have been physical specimens, and obviously they've worked out. When they got Dwight Howard, obviously that worked. And I mean, even Aaron Gordon worked out for a while. But they're not – those guys didn't develop and become great under the Magic. They already came to them like that. Aaron Gordon didn't – he was basically what he was his rookie year, his whole career.
This guy's a center?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, power forward center. He's 7 foot.
I mean,
he's 195 pounds.
Oh, no. Chalk it. Chalk it, bro. This guy's oh my, guarding the likes of Joel Embiid, Jokic. It's over with, dude.
Yeah,
this guy, it's over with.
I think it's going to be very interesting to see what the teams do with him. Obviously, I don't think they're going to have him try to go out there and guard those guys.
He's who's he going to guard then?
I think they're going to play him stretch 4.
I mean, that's that dude's best bet because he's going to get absolutely babied if he's guarding a center.
The only thing that he's really got is he's got that really long wingspan.
Yeah,
but
that's what I was just.
But I mean, if you're getting backed down by a guy who's 260 full of muscle, I don't care what kind of wingspan you got. If you're falling on your butt every time.
Yeah, but I'm not big on this guy. I'm not gonna lie.
I think Jabari Smith, in my opinion, is probably the best. But I really like Paolo Banchero from Duke. Paolo is one of those guys that I think is kind of like a Ben Simmons type player with a better jump shot. Which, I mean, people always said if Ben Simmons, don't take this the wrong way, but people always said if Ben Simmons had got a jump shot, you're looking at LeBron James.
I mean, I'm not going to disagree. Yeah,
but don't take this that I'm saying Banchero is going to be LeBron James, but that's his skill set. He's not obviously as physical. Nobody is. Nobody's a physical specimen. LeBron is.
Yeah.
But this guy is pretty stinking good.
Yeah.
And I think that, he's got to develop right. He has some health issues. You see that thing where he sweats off like 10 pounds a game? He's got to drink that special fluid. So I guess we'll see what he turns into. But I really like him. I really liked him at Duke. He came up during big moments for them, hit some big shots, made some big plays. And but I think Jabari Smith's probably the safest pick here. He's a guy, if you're like, okay, you can't miss with this pick. I think you take Jabari Smith. Chet Holmgren's more of obviously a guy that could be really high, really low. Paulo, I think, kind of has to be in the right system, the right learning curve, to kind of try to learn his game and find what his niche is in the NBA. Jabari Smith is just an athlete. He goes out there and he just balls. And I think that's what he's going to do. But without further ado, Josh, let's get into some picks here. Ding, ding, ding. You're up number 1. You have the Orlando Magic.
All righty.
Who are you thinking here?
I'm thinking, listen, we just talked about him. You said it yourself. This guy is probably the best, one of the safest and one of the best players in this draft, without a doubt. That's why, he's been rumored to go number 1. And I think he is. I think the Orlando Magic are going to choose Jabari Smith from Auburn.
Yeah. I can't say I disagree with you there. I think that if they take anybody but Jabari, I'm going to be surprised.
Yep.
Um, Orlando, they've had to make other decisions on the roster. They've had, some free agents to be like Mo Bamba, Jonathan Isaac, their lottery pick. He was a guy who
Who knows how he's
really
even
been
going to play? You
injured.
know?
You know what I mean? Yeah, he hasn't played in 2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly.
But the last time he was healthy, he was great. So, but I mean, I think you can kind of slot him and Isaac together to play those wing positions, or not the wing. I'm sorry, the forward positions, and be able to be out there. And if you can get Mo Bamba back, they have a team
That'd
that's
be huge.
Yeah, I mean, they have Markel Fultz and why am I
Wendell,
forgetting his name?
Wendell Carter.
Yeah. But I think Mo Bamba's going to leave. But who else am I thinking about? Who's the guard? Cole Anthony.
Oh,
Got him, and they got Jalen Suggs as well. So it's a really good young team that can really make a difference with this pick here. Looking at some of his strengths here, he's, like I said, he's a good shooter. He's got he made 42% of his threes at Auburn. A guy who averaged 17 points per game in college, which is like averaging 25.
Yeah.
Not saying, that's kind of like how the stats translate. Not saying he's going to come in and average 25 his first year.
Yeah.
But that's like how the minutes kind of work because the game's slower in college and everything. But he's like a big man with a perimeter game. That's why I think he can kind of play that bigger three. He's slotted as a power forward, but I think he can move well enough. He's 6'10", 220, which a lot of small forwards in the league are that size now.
Yeah. He could definitely. I think he definitely for sure could play both forward positions pretty easily. I don't think it's going to be a stretch to slide him into the small forward position for. I mean, obviously he's definitely not going to start there or anything, but if you have a rotation where you have to slide him into the small forward position, then I think you could do that without a doubt in your mind and be okay with it.
Yeah, and he's not a guy that can really. He's not like a floor general type forward. He's not a guy that really can dribble super well or pass super well. But like I said, they have some really good guards on that team. He doesn't need to be that. But he's also not a real big shot blocker. So I think slotting him maybe at the 3 is probably better for his type of game because he's not a real strong rim protector. But he is a guy who can.
So you'd be comfortable. You'd be comfortable starting him at a small forward.
Yeah, I think that I would want to. I think I'd want to see how he fit with a healthy Isaac on the floor with Wendell Carter, with Jalen Suggs, and with Cole Anthony, and just kind of see what they can do. But I think,
I guess
in today's NBA, it's not like you have to have this guy be the biggest, the prototypical small forward. That's not how the NBA is played today. Jalen Suggs is a big guard. Cole Anthony plays, he's about the true point guard size. But Jalen Suggs has good length. Jonathan Isaac is obviously very tall and a really strong wingspan and a pretty great athletic player before his injuries. You never know what's going to happen, but he's still really young. So I think he'll recover pretty well. And then Wendell Carter is, athletic big guy too. But I think rotating those guys in the front court is going to be something I think that they'll play with, but something that I think they're going to
with the way the Magic's roster is built. Honestly, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they did put him at the small forward. You just named off all of those guys, and where else can you put those guys at? I mean, you have a guy like this who can play both forward positions. I mean, you might as well slide him in there and see how he fits with the rest of those guys.
Right, and all those guys are pretty athletic too. So if you have an athletic, tall lineup,
exactly,
they could be a scary team to play against. I'm going into their depth and trying to develop the team. I'm not saying they're going to go out and be a playoff team, but a team that can be pesky and not someone you want to play every night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that's a good pick by you to take him there. Obviously, we talked about him being the safe pick there. But I'm going to go number 2, and I think this is more of a trying to bring some excitement even though I do think that he's probably got the highest ceiling. But Oklahoma City picks number 2. I think that they need somebody to pair with, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and make the team exciting again. They need to make this team a team that people want to come watch. And Oklahoma City is going to take Chet Holmgren, in my opinion. That's who I'm slotting them to take. He's a guy who, you go and play Oklahoma City. It's not a city that obviously has a lot of sports talent, not a sport that is really big there. But it's the only thing that, they really have. It's Oklahoma City. It's not like you're playing in a super big city, and they're used to Russell Westbrook, Kevin Durant, even early James Harden, some stars. I think they need to try to get some star power. And I think they would take the gamble on Chet Holmgren and see what he can be. And I'm not saying he's the best, but
no, I mean
he's still, honestly, he is rated the number 1 prospect. But with him and Jabari, everything I look at, it's 1 and 2.
Yeah, exactly. Whichever, both of our picks could easily be flip-flopped,
Right.
But
I'd be surprised if either one of them make it out of the top 2, though.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I agree. Yeah. And with the amount of, first-round draft picks that Oklahoma City has, like you said, who knows how high this guy's ceiling is and how good he's really going to be. He could come in and play good and then obviously, get extremely better throughout his career, but also he could come in and be an absolute. Listen, like I said, I'm not high on this guy, so I don't think he's going to be that good. But he very well could be with the amount of draft picks that Oklahoma City has. Why not take a chance on a guy like this?
Yeah, they have the ability to do this. They have their own first-round draft pick at number 2. They have the Clippers at number 12.
Yeah.
So 2 lottery picks for a team that's trying to rebuild, basically. Trying to start from the ground up. They're needing this.
Yeah.
So that's who my pick is. Oklahoma City, number 2, Chet Holmgren. You got the Houston pick, number 3, which is interesting here. I think we kind of all know where this is going to go.
Yeah.
Christian Wood was traded away and leaving a spot open at the power forward position. So, Josh, who you think's going here?
Paolo Banchero.
Yep, out of Duke. I think the writing was kind of on the wall with this. Houston might not know who's going 1 and 2, like in what order, but they know which 2 are going. So, okay, Paolo's our guy. They went out and traded Christian Wood and got a first-round pick out of it, sent him to the Mavericks. Christian Wood's a guy who's obviously a great player, but who probably won't be around when they're finally put everything together with Jalen Green and the rest of the Rockets team. So they need another strong power forward there. And, man, if you can come away from this draft with Paolo Banchero, lining him up with Jalen Green and the rest of the young Rockets, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this guy can really, really be special. But his NBA pro comparison is Ben Simmons. Like I said, he was the number 2 player in his class. He was a 5-star recruit. Even as a big power forward like that, he shot 34% from 3. And he averaged 17 points per game, shot 48% from the field. And he's a guy who can really handle the ball for a 6'10" forward. He grabs rebounds, he can run the fast break. And he actually grew up playing point guard before hitting some big growth spurts. So he really knows how to create some passing lanes and how to be a great playmaker with the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
But I think a lot of his game, he's a great mid-range shooter, but he's just okay from outside, 34% from 3. And he's a guy that I think he's a really great athlete, but his defensive intensity kind of waned in and out throughout the year. But people didn't really know about his condition until afterwards. So it's something we really have to monitor and see if it's something that he can move past, or if it's something that they can really hone in on and make it to where it's not a weakness anymore.
Yeah, with the way the NBA's medical team is, I don't think it's going to be a problem whatsoever with how, advanced they are and all that. I I don't think it's going to be much of a problem at all. But
You're investing millions and millions and millions of dollars in this guy, not just salary, but into marketing, into the number 3 overall pick just being valuable. Into this guy, they obviously, if they take him number 3, they feel like there's something that they can do to really change it. I mean, Duke had it under control, but I think that the NBA can take it to the next level.
Exactly. If it didn't blow up and become a huge problem in college, then I don't see it even becoming. I mean, obviously the media is going to more than likely talk about it and possibly blow it out of proportion at times, but I don't think it's going to be much of an issue.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think that it's a very solid pick from you there. That's who I would have went with. I'm a New York Knicks fan, and I'm really hoping that there's some way that they can come up and get this guy, but I don't think that's going to happen, obviously. But, I've
been seeing some rumors.
I think that if they're gonna trade up, they're gonna come up for number 4 with this Kings pick right here. But we decided not to do any mock trades. We only got 14 picks to do, so it's not like we have a lot of crazy stuff we can do with it. But I do expect one of these top picks to be traded, whether that be Sacramento at number 4, even Indiana at number 6. Indiana's kind of doing some weird things where they're like rebuilding, but also not rebuilding because they traded for Tyrese Halliburton, and they still have some guys on their team that are, really good role players to win now with, but they don't really have a win now roster. So I don't really know how they're trying to do it. They're trying to get rid of both Malcolm Brogdon and Miles Turner. So Indiana's one that could go. The Knicks could try to trade up or completely just trade number 11 to a team to get someone like Brogdon. But there's a lot of stuff that can happen, and definitely monitor that. And I'm definitely going to be watching it to see what happens. But for simplicity's sake, we're going to keep it here with the Kings. And I have them going number 4, taking a guy who you said you really like, and a guy who kind of has publicly said he doesn't really want to go to the Kings. Did you see that quote? He was kind of like, I don't really want to go there. They're kind of a mess in an organization. And they are. The Kings do have De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. So they're a team that, could make a little splash. Obviously, they play in a really tough conference. So it's not like that's going to be easy. But I have them taking Jaden Ivey, if you couldn't figure that out already. Jaden Ivey is one of the best athletes in this draft. They compare him to a Ja Morant type player without like the passing ability. He's more of a 2. He doesn't play the point guard super well, obviously. He's going to play the 2. He's an explosive athlete, creative shot making. He's got crazy speed, crazy change of direction. He was clutching big spots. He was really big for Purdue. But he's pretty turnover prone, so probably a guy that you want to give the ball to in like a fast break situation when he's out and running. But I'm not sure exactly how well he'll fit with De'Aaron Fox because Fox is kind of a fast player like that too. So that would be something I would want to wait and see how that would look. But, Ivy, it would kind of take some pressure off him not to be the guy with the ball in his hands at all times. Just be a great athlete. Go out there, get in the right positions. Fox can get you the ball. And you can do what you need to do. But he's also not a very good defender. So Fox and him would really need to pick it up together if they want to compete with some of these backcourts that the NBA is now sporting. The backcourts in the NBA are crazy. But one thing I do want to say, this guy is a sophomore. So he's a little bit older than some of these guys. But when he was in high school, he was the 89th ranked player in his high school class in 2020. So a guy who's probably going to go top 5 was 89th in his class. Just pretty insane. So, but again, I mean, a guy 17 points per game, but only 3 assists. So we'll see how he fits there. But that's who I like Sacramento taking there. Jaden Ivey out of Purdue University. So far,
I could see it
on our list. That's the top 4 prospects. And I think that it's going to be those 4. Even if Sacramento trades out of 4th. I see the team trading up to there to get Ivy. So, Josh, you have the 5th pick. You're taking for the Detroit Pistons, who
Detroit
obviously
Pistons.
picked
They just
one last year
traded
to Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant too. Yeah.
Yep. Trying to find who they need to fit with old Cade Cunningham, who had a pretty solid rookie campaign. Someone they're looking to build some rapport with, a guy who, they want to fit really well with him, obviously.
Yeah.
So who's your pick here?
With them just trading Jeremy Grant, which he played like a small forward, power forward type role.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have them taking I'm gonna have them taking Keegan Murray here from Iowa. Yep, power forward, dude. Averaged 23, almost 24 points a game and shot 55% while recording almost 9 rebounds a game. I mean, from the looks of it, this dude is an all-around scorer, very skilled at his position.
Big 10
pick and
points
pop.
per game leader.
Yeah, this guy, I mean, I think he could very well fill the shoes of them trading away Grant. I think that I'd honestly be surprised if they don't pick this guy.
You know what's really funny? Do you know who his pro comparison is? It's Jeremy Grant.
Well, there you go.
Pretty funny that they're able to trade away Grant, get some draft capital there, and get basically a younger version of him with more team control. It's going to cost a whole lot less.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you can't blame the Pistons for doing that.
No, I mean, we all knew Grant was going to go.
Yeah.
It's kind of like what I said about Christian Wood. He doesn't fit their timeline. He's not fitting the timeline of the Pistons, who aren't going to be good next year. If you're a Detroit fan, sorry. But they're not going to be good next year. I think if you're being honest with yourself, you know that to be true. I think that's obviously it's going to be a great pick there. I think Murray's going to fit well with them. And I think he just needs to improve some of his defensive abilities. He's he's a power forward, but he's only 6'8". And he played bigger in college, but again, it's college versus NBA guys.
Yep.
So how much can his physicality make up for his 6'8" frame at the power forward position? It's yet to be seen, and we'll see how it is. But again, he's a guy that's got to play down in that post, though, because he is 6'8". But he can score. He's not super explosive, but he's a good rebounder. I mean, he's a smart player.
Jeremiah Grant's only 6'8", too, so.
Yep. So, yeah, he truly is like Jeremy Grant. But, I mean, if he can be the player Jeremy Grant is, the Pistons will come
Am I saying Jeremy Grant or am I saying Jeremiah?
You said Jeremiah last time, but you were saying Jeremy. Yeah. I was like, yeah, we all know who you're talking about. You're all good. Yeah. I have the Pacers here. Like I said, the Pacers are in a weird spot. They got Tyrese Halliburton after trading away Sabonis. I think they're going to get rid of Miles Turner. I think they're also going to get rid of Malcolm Brogdon. They also have TJ Warren, who's an unrestricted free agent, who could be a piece in a sign and trade.
I don't know what they're doing over there.
I don't know either, man. It's kind of confusing me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this is why they get paid the big bucks, but.
Right. I mean, right. But at this point, should they be paying them the big bucks? I mean, should they just hire you and I?
Exactly. I don't know.
I'm thinking maybe.
Listen. I'll do what they're doing for a couple million. I'll tell you that.
Shoot, give me $500,000. I'll do it. Sign me up, baby. I think that this pick is kind of hard to pick. But I think that they're going to try to get their backcourt squared away. I think Brogdon's gone. I don't think they have him at all slotted to be playing with Tyrese Halliburton. I could be wrong, but I think that's the way they're going to go. So I think that, in the NBA today, the biggest keys to making your team successful is to have a guy who can stretch the floor, be like a stretch 4, big 5 type thing, a guy who's super athletic, and having a really strong backcourt. I think Halliburton is one piece of a strong backcourt, and I think they're going to team him up with Shaedon Sharpe out of Kentucky, who's a shooting guard, explosive athlete. Did you see this guy's vertical leap? 49 inches.
Yeah.
This guy can literally jump out the gym. He's I think that he was actually the dude in Space Jam who like jumps up and like grabs the ceiling. But seriously, this guy is a crazy athlete. You got a crazy quick first step. Basically everything you want in a slashing type shooting guard. He's more of a unknown pick though, because he didn't play a lot during his freshman year at Kentucky. He doesn't have great dribbling and playmaking abilities, but I think Halliburton does. So pairing those two together, I think would be pretty smart for the Pacers. He was the number 3 overall player in his class. He actually played 0 minutes at Kentucky, looking at it now. So he hasn't really played any basketball.
Yeah.
But a guy that they think can really blossom into a star. And he can be, a difference maker, a scorer, a shooter, and he's such a good athlete that if you just put him with the right coach and the right set, this guy is going to defend like crazy. And his pro comparison is Andrew Wiggins, a guy that, kind of didn't really have a whole lot of great footing in the NBA until he found the right spot in the Warriors. And now people talked about him maybe being the MVP of the finals, which I didn't think he was. But definitely second on the team. He was the second best player on the Warriors without a doubt. So this is a guy who I think the Pacers are really hoping he can blossom into that kind of player. But he is more of an unknown because he did not play in college. So you got anything to add on old Shaedon Sharpe, or do you want to move on to the Portland pick here?
I mean, like you said, he hasn't really played much, so this is a high risk, high reward type pick, but
very raw, obviously.
With the way that the front office in Indiana is handling things, like I said, they must know something we don't. So,
they could go Kai Soto here.
Yeah, who knows, dude? Like, honestly,
we don't know who they're taking. I mean, honestly, we don't know that they're going to be drafting here. I've heard things about them trading to get the 11th pick from the Knicks. But I also, to be like, to have the 6th and 11th pick. But I've also heard them trading out of the 6th pick and not even having a first round pick. Like, there's no
legit. Who knows? Who knows what's going on, dude?
Your guess is as good as mine. So, but you got the number 7 pick here. You got the Portland Trailblazers. What's going on here?
So with this, they just traded for Grant, obviously, pairing him with Damian Lillard. Dude, honestly, this is a tough pick for me. I
think they traded future pick for Jeremy Grant. I think they could also see this pick going out the window for somebody too, because Dame ain't getting no younger, and neither is Grant.
And see, that's what I was gonna say was I don't even know if they're even gonna draft, bro. Honestly, like I think that they're just gonna trade this pick for a win now player, because in my opinion, that's like you said, Dame's not getting any younger, and I bet you I can almost 100% guarantee you that he is growing extremely frustrated over there in Portland.
He's gonna be 32 next season.
Yeah. So and they traded away CJ. Like this guy's wanting to win now, and I don't think drafting is going to benefit this team whatsoever. So I honestly don't even think they're going to draft here. I think they're going to trade it away, like I said. But
I got a guy who I really think they're going to go here.
Where's this guy from? Let's see if we have the same guy.
My guy is not a college player. Is that
let me hear what you guys say. Go ahead.
I think they could go with Dyson Daniels from the G League Ignite here.
That's all right. I had him and one other guy, but I see that
because watching this playoffs, elite point guards who weren't great defenders kind of got embarrassed on defense.
Mm-hmm.
Guys were kind of targeting them, trying to get switched onto them. Obviously, Dame's 32. He's not getting any better at defense. He's getting worse, actually. And he's there to only make shots. He's there to be that guy, to be that leader in offense and on defense. This Dyson Daniels, number one strength, he is an elite defender. True lockdown perimeter defender.
Yeah.
I mean,
and this is somebody who, I mean, if you draft him, he's going to do, he's going to play off ball. So you don't have to, he's not going to take the ball out of Dame's hands whatsoever. He don't need plays ran for him, stuff like that. He's going to be somebody who's going to be guarding the best defender on the other team and, cut to the basket and stuff like that, to where it gives Dame another option to where, if he can't get a shot off or anything like that, he could look for him who's always going to be around the basket at any point of the time, like any given time. Like he's a hustler. And I agree with this pick, honestly. I don't think if they do draft here, I don't think you could go wrong with this pick.
Yeah. I really like that fit there. He's not a great shooter, but a great defender. He's kind of everything Dame isn't.
Yeah, for real, yeah.
And everything that Dame is, this kid's not. Like,
yeah,
not a good shooter, not a real strong like point guard type. He's more of an off ball. Let me defend your best player. He can slash, and he can get open. And make some tough in the paint and driving the lane type shots, but not a guy who you're going to see pulling up from three, really.
I mean, he finishes around the rim pretty well. So
yeah, I mean, he's a big guy.
Yeah,
he's 6'8". But yeah, I think that's a smart pick for them there. Number 8, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, who are picking from the Lakers. Lakers had such a bad year. And still, I mean, they would have the number 8 overall pick here. And good old Anthony Davis trade, Anthony Street Clothes Davis, has them not picking in this first round, which Lakers are going to do some interesting things, I think. The Pelicans are who we're talking about now. And the Pelicans don't really – their team is just so weirdly built. We've talked about this before. Like, you're going to have Jackson Hayes – Steven Adams and Zion Williamson all on the same team.
Yeah.
How does that work? I mean, you and I have had this discussion before. I mean, one of them needs to go, and I don't think at this point it's not going to be Zion. And I think they like Adams better. Obviously, Hayes is younger, but
I think I don't know. I really don't know. I've given my opinion on this before. I think they need a trade. Adams or Hayes, one of the two. I don't think you could really have all three of those guys on the same team. But at the same time, I think that they also keep him just because you could bring Hayes as a hustler. He's going to play at 100 miles an hour the whole game.
Yeah, I kind of like him, honestly.
I really do. I honestly do too. But it is a weird fit having all three of those on the same team. So I mean, they could bring him off the bench because he's literally the opposite, almost the opposite of what Steven Adams is. This guy is Jackson Hayes is a high flyer. Is going to hustle, get you rebounds, extremely athletic. So you can almost put him as like a 1-2 punch at that center position with him and Adams. So I don't know, but
I'm going to announce my pick here for the Pelicans, and then I'm going to tell you if everything goes right for this Pelican squad, if like guys develop into how they think they're going to be.
They're going to be nasty.
They're going to be nasty.
Yeah.
Like 1 through 12 nasty.
Yeah.
I have them taking Benedict Mathurin, if that's how you say his name, out of Arizona, shooting guard, 6'6". He's got a reliable 3-point shot. He shot 38% from 3. He's got a quick shot. He's got some good quickness. He can really move around. He's a good weapon on offense. He's kind of flashy, but he's not super great passing. He's got some silly turnovers, but the thing is, he's going to be on the same court as Brandon Ingram, CJ McCollum, even Zion, who likes, who can kind of handle the ball himself.
Yeah.
This guy's not going to have the ball in his hands a whole lot. He's got the size, frame, athleticism to be a good defender, but it's all kind of potential at this point. He's got to kind of hone in on that, but where he wouldn't have to be the focal point of this team, I think he really could be. They kind of have him as more of a development piece, but being on that team, being with those guys, I think it could be a really nasty fit, like a good fit together. Listen to this Pelicans roster, okay? So your starting lineup, you start CJ, you can play him at the 1. He can run point, he can run in and out with him and Brandon Ingram and Zion. If everybody's healthy, those 3 guys can run the ball up. You don't really have to have like a Chris Paul type because you got guys who can handle and run the ball. CJ, McThurin here, Brandon Ingram, Zion Williamson, Steven Adams. That's your top 5. Then your second unit, some of these names, if you don't know these names, you better get to know some of these names, okay? Devontae Graham, who is a bucket and a half.
Mm-hmm.
You got him. Jose Alvarado, which if you didn't see him in the playoffs, Mr. Pickpocket. You got him. The forward position isn't super great. I mean, Larry Nance is good. And Tony Snell's still a good defender, but probably one of the worst offensive players in the league. Yeah. And then backup center, Jackson Hayes.
And you still got those 2. Did you say those 2 rookies?
Alvarado. And then I didn't say the other guy, Herbert Jones.
Herbert Jones, and there's one more. I can't remember his name.
Jared Harper?
No. Gosh, I'll have to look at it.
Oh, the Lewis kid. Kara Lewis, point guard?
No.
From Alabama?
You might have already said it.
Trey Murphy?
Yes.
Trey Murphy.
Yep.
They've got a lot of really good young guys. They've got some good talent on this team.
Which, if you watched them in the playoffs this year, Trey Murphy and Herbert Jones both played extremely well. So I expect them to get
and Alvarado
even
was
more
that dude
minutes.
Who just come and picked pockets, man.
Yeah.
So they've got a nasty team. So if they can get these guys developed right, if Zion can finally be healthy and be the guy, like when he was healthy, this guy was still showing out in the NBA.
Yeah, he was dominant, bro.
And Brandon Ingram keeps taking the next step. Like he's taking these baby steps, but he's turning into quite the star.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say he's a superstar. People thought he was going to be a superstar, but he's a star. And he can make those buckets. He can make those shots. Put him obviously with CJ, who's a bucket as well. And that team's nasty. They've got a lot of good stuff going on in New Orleans. So that's my pick there. You have the San Antonio pick, which San Antonio is so boring, man.
Yeah. I'm not going to disagree with that. But I have San Antonio taking AJ Griffin here, forward from Duke. Duke. He only averaged about 10 points a game and shot a little under 50% from the field, but
he's also playing on Duke, so I mean, he's not
exactly. But he's a very talented scorer. So I mean, with being on the same team as how do you pronounce that guy's name? DeJounte? Is that how you say that? Yeah. DeJounte Murray. Yeah. DeJounte Murray. With him, I can say that, bro. With him being another talented scorer, I mean, it's going to take a little bit of a pressure off of that and maybe let Murray play a little bit more freely and be a little bit more aggressive, knowing that he doesn't have to do all the work by himself, if that makes sense.
And they're different kind of scorers too. Murray's more of a, he can drive the lane on you, and Griffin can just sit there and pop up, shoot,
Yeah.
This dude shot, he made 49%.
48, yep. Yeah. My dude goodness. He's a sharpshooter for sure. And that plays even more. Like him and DeJounte Murray could play so well together because DeJounte is downhill. Dude, I cannot say this guy's name, bro. I can't say it, I swear. But him and Murray will play so well together. I mean, Murray plays downhill, likes to attack the basket. So anytime that defender helps, kick out to him, and he's almost a sure bucket from behind the arc. So
for sure. I think he's a great shooter, a great player. And you just add that to the Spurs, and I mean they're a great system, obviously.
yeah,
A team that is obviously going to play very, very disciplined basketball. But I'm going to move on here. I have the good old Washington Wizards, who, they have Bradley Beal, who's one of the biggest question marks. They said that he's made his decision where he's going to play next year. People are saying it's the Lakers, but they're also rumoring everybody to the Lakers. Apparently, Lakers are going to have 20 guys on the team next year. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with Beal. But they're the 10th pick here doesn't really necessarily have to do anything with Beal. It doesn't have to be a guy who's going to fit with him necessarily, because if I had to bet, I would say he's not a Wizard by the end of next year.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to try to go with a guy who they think could really be a superstar. But again, when you're drafting 10th, it's kind of hard to pick anybody like that.
Yeah.
So who you think could really be a big star. But a guy that they've been rumored to be looking at is Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. He's the 15th ranked prospect, so they're reaching a little bit here. But like I said, they're kind of looking to see what would be the best fit for their culture, best fit for their team going forward. It doesn't have to fit with their squad right now because they're in that rebuild mode, kind of with Beal there. But Johnny Davis, a versatile defender. He's a tough shot maker. He's not like super explosive, but he's a guy who's got a lot of grit. He's a good rebounder for his size. He's only 6'6". He played some small forward. He's probably going to be a shooting guard, which I think is only going to, heighten the Beal movement. Going to get him out of there pretty quick. But I don't think they want to pass up on a guy who they think is this good.
Mm-hmm.
He averaged 19.7 points per game, shot 42.7%. And he was a 52% true shooter. If you don't know, like the true shooting stat, basically, it's more advanced stat. And Josh and I talked before this. Josh doesn't really like advanced stats, but I'm a nerdy guy here. But your true shooting percentage is obviously something that you really want to look at and see like how difficult the shots they're making and that kind of thing. And anything over 50% is obviously really good. And 52.3% true shooting as a sophomore. He's not a strong passer or playmaker, but I think it's something that he could evolve and involve with as he gets to be a more mature player. But he's interesting stat, though. At 6'6" and as a shooting guard, small forward, he led his team in rebounds for Wisconsin. 8.3 per game. And the guy was really, he just has a lot of tenacity and probably a guy that they want to get on their team who just wants to win. So that's my pick there, Johnny Davis. And now you have my coveted New York pick.
And honestly, Tim, I'm gonna let you take this one over, and I'll take the next two after that, just because the Knicks are your team. I want to see what you got to say here.
Well, I appreciate you there. I don't really know how to word this without being a New York Knicks homer. They don't really do anything splashy because nobody wants to play for their owner, James Dolan. But I think that they're going to really try to pursue, and they have been pursuing guys like Donovan Mitchell, guys like Malcolm Brogdon. I think they've even checked in with Zach LaVine to see what they need to do about getting him. This number 11 pick is something that I could see them trading away. I could see them trading away Julius Randle. There's a lot that they could do here. They could kind of rebuild, trade away some of their older guys like Randle, and try to start fresh with guys like Barrett, Robinson, Obi Toppin, Quentin Grimes, even Cam Reddish.
I think they should trade away Randle. He
was kind of a distraction last year after having a really good year the year before. But I think that they're looking at guys who can make an impact with RJ Barrett, because RJ Barrett is that guy for them. No matter what, they're tied to him. That's who they're going to take. But they also really need a point guard. Kemba Walker was not the savior for them, as like he wasn't for a lot of other teams. And Derrick Rose is obviously just too hurt. I think they go Ty Washington from Kentucky here. He's point guard, 6'4". He's a versatile guard who's comfortable playing both on and off the ball. He's a very good passer. He can really lead an offense as lead guard. He primarily handled off the ball at Kentucky, but again, it's Kentucky. So it's not like he was, had to play true point guard the whole time. But he's a good scorer. He's creative, scoring with the ball. He can produce in a lot of ways. Hit 35% of his threes as a freshman at Kentucky, and I think his shot's kind of raw. I think he's only going to get better at that. He's not real great off the dribble yet, but I think it's something that he could improve in. And he does need to work on his pick and roll, but they do compare him to Cole Anthony, who's a guy who I really wanted the Knicks to get whenever he was in the draft. But another thing to note of him, he broke John Wall's Kentucky single game assist record. They played, I think it was Georgia, and he had 17 assists in a 40-minute game. The guy's insane. So I really think we need a point guard here. I think we're going to get a point guard. And that's the other thing we're going with. Ty Washington out of Kentucky. I appreciate you allowing me to make that pick, Josh. So we'll hand you the next two. You got Oklahoma City, and it works out because you'll have Charlotte. So we're going to go with Oklahoma City, number 12 here from the Clippers. Who you got going here? They already picked Chet.
Yep. So I got Oklahoma taken. Let's see here. Just looking at something real quick.
These are hard to do because as we get deeper in the draft, as you guys know, with the NFL draft, if the guy before you takes who you were slotting to take, man, you really got to kind of start over. So something that's not – one thing I will note of the Thunder, though, they got Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, now Chet Holmgren, obviously. But that Giddey guy, he was getting some triple-doubles there at the end of the season.
He's a small
crazy
forward, right?
Yeah, he's kind of a weird type of player. But yeah.
So I'm gonna. This is probably. I doubt they go with this. To be honest with you, I think they're probably going to take somebody else. But I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they grab somebody else who could, score the ball also. Kind of slide into that shooting guard, point guard role, kind of play off ball and maybe handle the ball a little bit more. I'm going to have them taking this Hugo Benson guy from New Zealand. Incredible. I mean, I wouldn't say incredible, but the guy is a good three-point shooter, crafty scorer, able to score inside, outside, mid-range. It don't matter. Extremely athletic, and he's a catch-and-shoot guy. So, like I said, more than likely, I mean, he can handle the ball, but he's more than likely going to be playing off-ball with Josh Giddey and Shai handling the ball for the most part, but somebody who is more than capable of scoring the basketball also. I wouldn't be surprised if they grab somebody like this. So,
yeah, I mean, again, they're a team that I'm not really sure what they're going to try to do. They're hard to predict. Hard to see exactly what they want to do here. But, yeah, I think you hit the nail on kind of what they want to try to do at least. 13, Charlotte, your team, the Hornets.
Yes, sir.
Tell us kind of what you think they need, Josh.
I think honestly, we have LaMelo Ball, Terry Rozier, Miles Brogdon, and I doubt Hayward's going to be here this season. I think we trade him away for somebody. I'm hoping Miles Turner.
Westbrook.
I'm taking Turner over Westbrook just because.
Well, yeah, for sure.
We have so much talent.
Oh my! You get Turner in there.
Yeah, and honestly,
pick and roll him
LaMelo. Yeah, exactly. LaMelo said it last year during the middle of the season. Like he said that we're just a big away, and I wholeheartedly agree with that 100%. And I think that's what they need. And I'll honestly be shocked if they if they draft anything other than a big. So with that being said, I'm going to take Jalen Duren from Memphis. 6'10", plays center, has a 7'5" wingspan. Dude is just absolutely gifted, freaking nature. He's extremely athletic. He's good at scoring the ball inside, a rim protector. Good at off-ball defense, helping. This is just everything that the Hornets need, and I think that he could come in and make an immediate impact on the team. So, like I said, I'd be shocked if they draft any other position other than a big man.
Yeah, if he's here right here, I think that they come away very happy. He was the number 6th overall prospect in his high school class last year, 5-star recruit. He had a 9.9% block rate, which was top 30 in the nation last year.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have a real strong offensive game, but he's everything you want in a defensive center. And
honestly, we don't need a big man who could score. You know what I'm saying? We have Miles. We have plenty of scoring. That's not the issue. It's it all comes down to
all those guys
protecting the rim, and we just need a defensive anchor. So.
And it was funny is I've watched some film on him because actually I don't know why I was watching film on him, but I like Memphis guys, and I think they make some interesting players. There's always some interesting things going around with him, like James Wiseman and guys like that. So Memphis is always like one of those that have like one really strong player like this.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, this guy reminds me of Robert Williams on the Celtics, and that's his pro comparison, and that's how this guy plays. He plays like not only is he big, not only is he strong, not only is he a guy who's going to lock down the paint like that, he's got some tenacity. This guy plays with an energy, plays with a fire that he's going to go out there. He's going to protect the paint. He's going to block your shot, and he's going to lock it down. You're not going to go in there and score on him, and that's exactly what the Hornets need. So I think if they're picking at number 13 and he's there, I think that they do a backflip on the way up to submit the card.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, and I'm not saying by any means that Hornets a championship team, but if you look at the two teams who are in the finals right now, both of those guys, both of their centers are centers who are they're super good, extremely good. But they're not somebody who's going to go out there and, average a lot of points like a Joel Embiid or anything like that. They're simply out there to grab rebounds, protect the paint, get you unless they have a big game. Like I think Looney had one or two big games. They're going to get you, your 10 to 12 points while also grabbing 10 to 12 rebounds. And I think nowadays with the way the NBA is going, you need an all-star guards. And I think that Charlotte has that with LaMelo, and I guess they don't have a second guard, but Miles Bridges, is
Scary Terry in there.
I don't know.
He's good. Too far
he's
there,
good, but I don't know. But
you guys bring back IT.
But yeah, we do have Isaiah Thomas. We have good depth too.
Okay.
So
yeah, is Kelly Oubre coming back?
I think he is. Is he?
I feel like he is. I could be wrong.
I think he is too, but I haven't seen anything about him, so I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, things are about to start heating up after this draft. No, he's under contract for another year.
Okay, he signed a 2-year deal. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But with the last pick of this lottery, Cleveland Cavaliers picking 14th. This is also a really fun team that I like to look at here. with Colin Sexton coming back from the injury. You have guys who, whoa, did we just switch spots?
Yeah.
What in the world? That was strange. I just looked up and I was like, what in the world? Okay. Going back. So they have those two guys locking that down. And then in their front court, they got Mobley playing the power forward position about as well as you can ask, and Jared Allen playing center. Those two played pretty well together. I think this team's really slashing, can really go downhill, can really play pretty athletic, but they don't have any really strong shooters in this group. And I think they need at least one, which I'm still not sure that if they're going to win anything, they might need another in that starting group. But I think they need to start it here, and I think that they're going to go with prototypical wing type scorer, Malachi Branham, Ohio State University. He's 6'6". He's not a real strong defender, but the other guys are all very athletic, very good defenders as well.
Yeah. That team's very, very good at defense. So.
This guy's a dead-eye shooter. Shoots it off the catch, knows how to create separation. I don't know if you remember this guy in the March Madness tournament, Josh, but, man, this guy was hitting some shots, man. He gets to his spots. He fills space pretty well, but he shoots. He'll shoot from anywhere. He's made more than or better than 40% of his threes as a freshman. He can score in many different ways. He's just a scorer, man. Not a great defender, like I said. Not a guy who is super great passing the ball. But they have Colin Sexton and Darius Garland to do that.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be that strong a defender because those two can guard the backcourt, and you got Mobley and Jared Allen going to be locking up the front court. This guy is not a guy who needs to be that. He's perfect for them. I think you put Branham in there, a small forward, and you let him run. Hope everybody's healthy and run those guys together. Because if those guys run together like that, they're going to be a really tough team in the East for years to come. Yeah, because they're all like butting into their own stars in some kind of way. Jared Allen is already like as elite of a rim protector as can be. Mobley is building himself up to be a very, very strong two-way player. Garland and Sexton are both super explosive, super good guards who can defend really well, set up playmaking abilities, can slash very well, attack the rim. And you put a guy like Branham next to them.
Yeah.
They're going to be a pest in the Eastern Conference for years to come.
Yeah, they got something special going on over there in Cleveland, I'll tell you that. Like they're with the way that they're building that roster, went through a little bit of a rebuild here and there, but with what they have over there right now and the way they played last year alone is just it's crazy to look at. And I think that, like you said, if they draft a guy like that, that could very well be the piece that they need to make a deep playoff run. I'm not saying it's going to be a championship team because obviously you still have to go through the Bucks and all them.
They're very young.
Yeah, but like you said, for years to come, I feel like they're going to be making a lot of noise in the playoffs.
I mean, you got to expect one of those guards is going to emerge as the top guy.
Yeah.
Whether it's Sexton or Garland. We've seen it from both of them.
I think it's going to be Garland. Garland's nasty.
Yeah, but man, dude, people forget how good Sexton was before he got hurt.
That is true.
That guy was a bucket in college. He comes in the NBA and he was lighting it up. Then he gets hurt last year. When they were playing together, they looked really good, and then he got hurt. And I think
I'm excited to see what they do, dude. I love
Mobley
watching.
Can be really good too.
Oh,
and I think Branham could be a 20-point per game guy.
Yeah,
he might not fill up a bunch of other things. But not saying he's Klay Thompson, but look at the Warriors. Warriors didn't need Klay Thompson to do a whole lot more than spot up shoot.
Sometimes that's all you need.
You need that guy. You need a guy like Bogdanovich. You don't think that that guy, Bogdanovich, couldn't go to another team and they'd be like, oh, yeah, we want him. Every team wants a guy like that. And that's what Branham's like. He's just going to come in. He's going to shoot in your face. He don't care where it's at. He's going to hit it at a very strong clip. So, but that concludes our draft here. I think we did pretty well here, picking some top guys who we think were going to make some really strong impacts year one. And, some guys who might be a little bit of a project. As we go further in this draft, obviously these teams are going to be drafting more for their needs at the moment. That's why we decided to stop at the lottery. But I'm interested to see what happens. Josh, you got any final takeaways from the draft before draft night?
I'm telling you, if Charlotte drafts a big man, I'm gonna go nuts.
If they can get Durant,
if they get him, I'm going nuts. I swear, man. You'll be receiving a couple of text messages, maybe a little Snapchat video to go along with it. I'm gonna be
about it.
I'm gonna be absolutely ecstatic if they draft him, bro.
Yeah, when Josh gets excited, all bets are off. You never really know what's going to come through that Snapchat. So we're going to keep that away from the screens for sure. But we appreciate you guys all joining us here tonight. We had a record amount of viewers. All of you that joined us from the Philippines, it's good to see you guys in here. We really hope to be a not just – obviously, if you can't tell, we're from the Midwest. But we don't want to just be people from around here. We want to get takes from everybody. We want you guys to see us across the world, man. I mean, we're wanting to create a place where people can come and watch and talk about sports and just have fun. Get a bunch of different takes from a bunch of different guys. Usually Nate's in here, but he's moving. He's got some stuff he's working through personally right now. So we're not going to harp on him too much because I know you guys really only want to hear Josh and I anyway, or at least see our faces more because, the obvious beauty. But yeah, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Appreciate you guys showing up. And yeah, I mean, a lot of comments from you boys in the Philippines with this Kai Soto guy. We'll see what happens with him.
Might be number one.
Maybe, he might turn into the best player in this draft. We never know. That's the crazy thing about these drafts, man. You never know what's going to happen, especially these guys from overseas. I mean, come on. Looking at the draft today, you don't think that people wouldn't take Luka number one? Luka Doncic? I mean, come on.
Exactly.
You're taking that guy number one.
Yeah.
Stop playing.
You never know what's going to happen. Never know who's going to blow up and be something. So
no, he could be the next rock of. Seems like the Mavericks always get him because I was going to say Dirk, but that's another Mavericks guy. So
yeah, they
obviously do their scouting well. Hey, maybe he goes to the Mavericks and the Mavericks turn him into this great player because that's what they do with overseas players. But we thank you guys for joining us. Josh, thanks for making time out of your night. Come and talk with the boys. And guys, have a good night. Peace out. And make sure you tune into the NBA draft. See what we get right, man. If we go 14 for 14.
Show us where to sign up, Tim. I'll be an NBA GM.
Hey, we're not that far away from Indiana, bro. We could go run the Pacers.
That's what I'm saying.
It seems like they might need us.
Yeah, because they don't know what they're doing over there.
No, nobody knows what they're doing over there. So, but thanks guys for joining us. Everybody have a good night. Peace out, and let's see what happens tomorrow night. Jabari Smith, number one. You heard it here first. Have a good night, everybody.